Hey guys, it's Kate. In the spirit of our theme, Back to Simple, here's something I want us all to think about this weekend. Decide what kind of life you really want, and then say no to everything that isn't that. What is on my finger? If you're new here, I laugh a lot. If you've been here forever, you know, you know how I am. I like to keep budgeting, frugal living, saving money fun. I like to make it fun. And if it's not fun, you're not going to stick with it. So, all right, let's get to what I was saying. Oftentimes people can associate frugal living with restriction and a tight, no fun. That's not what frugal living is about. And that is not what budgeting does for you either. So let's talk about how we can spend more on what we love, right? I think people are always thinking, oh, budget is cutting. It's a strategic cut so that you can make room for the things you love more. So as we're planning our budget for this upcoming month, okay, so say this is like where it's aiming, right? And you want to hone in on what is important, what you find to be a priority, and aim it at that. That way, you're not all over the place. You're not all over the map, and you can actually just narrow it in to spend on what really matters to you and eliminate the stuff that doesn't. I think people think budgets can be more complicated. They don't have to be, and especially when you're using your budget as a tool, and I hate the way this is going to sound, but to create the life that you really want and stop wasting your time on what doesn't matter. Stop wasting your time, your money, your energy on what doesn't matter. And these are the things we're going to have to look at and we're going to have to think about in order to start spending passionately on the things that we love. Here's a way to think about it that maybe you haven't thought about it before. Set up your budget so that if any person were to take a hold of your budget and read it, they would know immediately what you prioritize. Think about your budget right now. Some of you don't have one. If that's you, I'm talking to you. Start one this month. We're about to go into a fresh month. I have a video that I will leave up in the eye in the sky, and I'll also put it down in the description so you can find it either way. How to start budgeting. You will not regret it. So for those of you that haven't started, check out that video after this one. Still listen to what I'm going to say now, but check that out. And then those of you that already are into the budgeting habit, think about it like that. If I were to grab your budget, if you're like, Kate, like homework, this is my budget. Would I be able to look at it and say, Susie loves donating to charities. Oh, Martin really loves buying lots of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would we see when we look at your budget? Okay, and I'm going to tell you. So the first thing we're going to ask, this is question number one. So if you've got your budget and you've already started, remember, I always take my previous month budget, like basically copy paste, and then I tweak because every month is not the same. My September is not going to look like August did. My August is not going to look like my April. They don't look the same. They should not be treated the same. It's a unique monthly budget that makes you stay on track and is accurate, okay? Because not every month is the same, all right? So, question number one to ask yourself, what does it look like I prioritize? Well, I'll give you a great, horrible example. If you look at my June budget, and I shared this with some of you, I think, during a live, you would think I prioritize going out to eat and door dashing. Why? Because I had a horrible month. I was crashing and burning at the end of June, at the end of the school year, after our recital for dance. I was just crashing and burning. I had nothing left in me. The tank was empty. I was buying tons of things that I shouldn't, as far as that goes. By the way, it was all within the budget. I budgeted it all, but that's not what I want to prioritize. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't go over budget. I adjusted my budget to fit that. I don't want to adjust my budget to fit that. That's not me. That's not my norm. That was a bad month, okay? So when I look at your budget, would I be able to tell what's important to you? I think that's a very important question to ask. Okay, so now I'm looking at my previous month budget. If I were looking at this, okay, so it always has the income at the top. And then it says my savings. Okay, so Kate invested in Maine State Retirement, 2 payments, because that comes right out of my paycheck, but I account for it. Okay, so Kate is focused on retirement. That's what I see. She paid her mortgage and she paid an additional $300 toward the principal. Why? Because I'm obsessed with paying off my mortgage early. Okay, so this is me. This was just happened. Groceries, you've got to have groceries. I'm kind of looking at my higher ones here. Groceries was a little bit more than normal, but why? I didn't eat out hardly at all. I was mostly getting all my groceries and eating everything. And it's way better, even though I know food is so expensive no matter where you're getting it right now. But going out to eat, if you look at my June budget I shared with you, it was ridiculous. Again, that's not my vibe, okay? It's not what I want. Going forward, it's not. Let's see. Medical insurance, my cell phone, power. Power is just a little bit higher in the summer for me because I run the air conditioners. Dental, gas for the car. Had to order new checks. Do you guys still use checks? I have 2 things that I need a check for, and I didn't have any checks left. I'd run out of checks. Let me know. Are you a check person? I mostly do everything digitally, but you should have some checks because somebody needs a check at some point, right? Let's see, my giving category. I gave for, let's see, a wedding shower, 2 birthdays, another fundraiser. Okay, this isn't too crazy. Lifestyle. Again, nothing crazy. Like I'm just kind of, I could go on with this, but like you got to look through all your categories and ask yourself, what does it look like I prioritize? Okay. Now 2, is that truly what you want to prioritize? For me, like I said, you look at my June budget, that is not what I wanted. And I had to course correct. Okay. I was over here. This is no. I don't want that. I don't want to be eating that. And I also don't want to be spending that kind of money. So I pulled it back and now I'm back to groceries, okay? You're gonna have months that aren't perfect. You're gonna have months that you go off the rails in some area, but it's very important that you pull it back. And asking these kinds of questions are gonna get you there. Okay, recap real quick. 1, what does it look like I prioritize? You're gonna be able to tell. If you're writing this out and you're looking, you're gonna be like, no, that's not what I want. Or, is that truly what I want to prioritize? Question number 2, maybe it is. And maybe you're on the right track. Maybe you're looking and you're saying, yes, that's me. That is what makes me me. And that is what I like spending money on. All right. So question number 3, the biggest question you have to ask is, what changes can I make? I changed that July. I was back on track with what I was spending on as far as like going out to eat. Going out to eat is one of those things that can crush your budget if you are not tracking it. Because you just might say in your head, I gotta eat, right? Of course you do. And you do. The answer is yes, you do. But you don't have to be going out to restaurants, getting table service, going through drive-thrus, having food delivered, and having all those extra fees kind of adding up, the gas to get there, the tipping. There's a lot more involved when you decide to just like go out to eat. Just think about that. Could you just cook something at home? We talk about this relentlessly, using what's in your pantry, using what's in your fridge, using what's in your freezer. My son is in the background. He's nodding at me because sometimes he has to remind me, Mom, let's just eat at home. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's true. He keeps me down to earth. Sometimes he's like, no, I don't need that. Let's just eat something at home. He's so good. So you got to ask yourself these questions and aim your budget towards what you love. Now, the other part one of my favorite words is eliminate. And that is eliminating everything that is no longer serving you. So say your budget was out of control. Like, I should just delete the DoorDash app right off my phone. Like, eliminate the things that don't serve you. There could be other things, guys. If you have a shopping kind of addictive personality when it comes to shoes, when it comes to bags, when it comes to clothes, when it comes to jewelry, I am not into any of that, but I know lots of people that are. Maybe it's your home decor. Maybe it's decorations for the season. Now listen, let me be very clear. If these are the things that you prioritize and it means the most to you, then that's what you should aim your budget at. If that's what makes you you, that's what makes you tick. But if it's not, and it's an old bad habit, we've got to kind of look at that. Am I just doing this because this is what I've always done? And then you have to decide, what do I want more? Would I rather go on a vacation to Paris or the Bahamas or wherever you want to go? Like, think about what's more important, 1,000,000 pairs of shoes or an experience that you will never forget. Everyone has their own thing, and this is something that only you can answer, but I'm just encouraging you to spend your budget on the things that you love. You've got to have your needs, of course, you have to. And I'm going to also just do a little plug for savings, okay? I have a colleague of mine that just reached out to me. She's been watching my videos lately, and she's like, Kate, I just want to reach out and let you know the idea of treating savings like a bill has literally changed my life. I never thought about it like that. I was always savings for the end of the budget if I had anything left over, and wasn't getting anywhere. I just talked about this in a video recently. When you treat your savings like a bill, you're gonna get your savings faster because it's the priority. Are you prioritizing it? Just like we're talking about in this video. So if savings is a priority, please make sure that savings is at the top, not at the bottom of your priority list when you're creating your budget. I would just love to know right now, what's something on your budget that you're gonna let go of? You're gonna let go. You're gonna get rid of it because it's no longer serving you. And what's one thing that you're like, you know what, Kate? I don't have enough of this in my life. I want this in my life. And by eliminating the things that are unimportant, you can make room for the things that are even better. So please let me know in the comments, what's your plan? Give me one thing of each. And then we can all read through and say, maybe I don't need that either. Or I want that too. If you want more of what you love in your budget, type in the comments more, and I will know that you're thinking about this. The wheels are turning. How can I get more of what I want and less of what I don't want? And then I can have a life that I'm designing, that I'm curating to really show who you are and what matters to you. If you enjoyed this video, I'm gonna leave another one for you right here to watch next. Down in the description again, remember I put how to create a budget so that you can check that out if you haven't even started yet. But if you have and you're on your way, check this one out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you guys, bye.